Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a special from Triggering Chaos. Today we won't be talking about our episodes per se. We'll be getting to know our co-hosts and our hosts.
Wait. I brought lots of things to burn and destroy.
That'll come later, Em. That'll come later.
Oh.
Teasing you is fun.
Yeah, I'm M. He's Soul. I was going to rip a new asshole. Oh well. Just in the garbage for now.
Yeah, we'll dig it back out later. Yeah, folks, one of the fun things about this idea is I don't think we're ever going to run out of material.
No, especially with how pop culture can go and how executives in suits can try and market pop culture.
Yeah.
And reinvent for the hello, fellow youths.
We're looking at you, Thundercats.
Thunder, 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 never watched.
Yeah. I might have to bring somebody else in for that episode.
Fair enough. Although what I've seen of that,
you might like the 2000 series of that, but
I've heard very good things about that, as well as the 2000s He-Man. But because no one was watching it, both of them died.
Actually, there's a long story behind the reason Thundercats died out, but
that's one of the main reasons no one was watching it, though.
Well, there's a reason no one's watching it, but later tangents. Don't want to spoil anything.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Okay, but yeah, today is going to be a different kind of episode. We've been through a couple episodes. Some have been released so far, some have not at the time of this recording. I may be putting this up before it actually is in chronological order for the recording, so that'll tell you a few things.
Or, you could always do a bonus episode.
Well, I'm just saying, in case we discuss something that hasn't been released yet, it's coming. Just
fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. I get what you're saying.
Because I do plan on putting this up probably shortly after, probably even the week after, or even while I'm on vacation. So,
yep.
But I thought it'd be fair that you should get to know me and my co-host M, one of the more mainstream people I have on this series.
Hooray! I'm mainstream.
My God, my show has hit rock bottom.
Oh, that wounded me more than anything you've ever said to me. And you've said a lot to me.
Hey, you've said a lot to me, too, so don't try and play innocent.
Yeah, but you deserved it.
Bullshit.
Have you met you?
Have you met you?
Yes.
And you still like you, goddamn.
Oh, I'm quite mad.
But yeah, I figured maybe a small Q&A, a few little tangents here and there. It'd probably be a much shorter episode than what we usually have.
Oh, thank Christ.
Or maybe longer, depending on how much he rants.
Oh, God.
Do you have your water ready? You might need it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I figure I'll start off with this simple little question. And since we're still talking about the show, is there anything about the show that has gotten your attention or went better than you expected?
We've bounced off each other a lot better than I thought we would. I thought we would be stumbling over each other a lot more.
Fair point. So did I, actually. But
we tend to do that. We do that when we just general talk anyway. But, yeah, I've been told by a couple people who do actually watch our podcast that we do have a very good natural back and forth.
That's very important for a good show, I find.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'd just be sitting here boring, staring at each other on the screen.
Why do you think I never actually look at the screen? I just kind of let my eyes wander.
I always thought you just rolling your eyes at me.
Yeah.
I see them rolling now. Well, let's move on to the second question then, because that's good enough for it.
Yep.
Is there anything about the show that you would like to bring up for a future episode, or possibly change about the show as a whole?
With our next style of show coming up soon, it may or may not be up yet. No, I think we're going for good right now. If I have any ideas, I will introduce them myself. Because of how my nature of working on two different podcasts lets me have a lot of creative freedom, most of what ideas I have end up going to another channel. If I'm going to just do a small plug once more to the Jedi Dropouts...
Be my guest. I love this guy.
Ryan has let me start off a spin-off of a spin-off. Because he has me in a show called Final Form, where we discuss a single anime and maybe a few anime-related topics once every 2 weeks. Well, starting last month, of when we're recording right now, every month I'm doing a new show called Hyper Battle, where I can discuss one of the topics that's incredibly nerdy just for me, and that's tokusatsu. I had so long for the first episode of Hyper Battle, where we talked about one of our shows we both really like, Kamen Rider Double. And now once a month, I will either be solo or with a random guest talking about anything done with live action fights or something like that. A couple of non-fighty things I have planned later on, but Power Rangers and Power Ranger-like shows that show is going to be about. And because I have that freedom there, I don't feel like I need to really... If I have any ideas, I'll give them to Soul, but there's a good chance I might give that idea to Ryan. So, I got freedom to do what the hell I want to ramble about. Two people are letting me just ramble.
It's almost like that's fun to watch you ramble and watch your hands move about like a mime.
Why do you think I don't vlog?
I wouldn't have a chance to talk to you otherwise?
Fair enough, but I'm a very hand-talking person.
I'm pretty sure if you were vlogging, I would never be able to talk to you because you'd still be vlogging.
Yeah.
You'd be eating and drinking on the vlog because you'd be so much busy to go on tangents.
Self-control.
We don't have that.
Pi Day! Early Flash videos!
And I'm just going to make this drop since we did discuss the Jedi Dropouts. The next episode after this, at the time of this recording, I will not have M with me yet, actually. I will be actually having the host from Jedi Dropouts, Ryan, on me as we discuss the TMNT.
Yeah, not to sound like I don't like the TMNT, I really like the Turtles, but you're going to have a lot better energy with Ryan when it comes to Turtles, especially if you guys go on to the 80s show.
Fair enough, and I think it'll just be a nice little change of pace.
Yeah. What am I going to do with my Saturday morning?
Oh, I still got plans for you, buddy.
Oh.
Because I'm recording with Ryan on Tuesday. You're still my Saturday morning recordings.
Fuck!
It's fun being equal to you. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Now, this is part of the reason why I did this show. Has there anything about the show that has changed your opinion about any of the topics we've done so far? Introduce you to something new?
Not really, because we already do, when we're not podcasting, send a lot of stuff back and forth. But, no, I can't think of anything at the top of my head. Even, I may have brought in a few topics up to Ryan here and there for the other podcasts, so that might be it. But I can't think of any at the top of my head that this show has done for me, besides give me something to do some Saturday mornings.
Yeah, it's always useful to do something on Saturday mornings. I mean, hell, it's gotten me to actually focus on doing things in the morning.
Fair enough.
I am not a very good morning person.
Why do you think I work nights?
To avoid sunlight?
Yes, because that's not during the morning.
That's what I'm doing all day.
Eh.
Look, you can shake your fist at the sun all you want. It's not going anywhere.
I know. I still haven't got enough money to make my sun blocker.
Isn't that just your curtains?
No. You don't watch enough Simpsons to get that reference.
No, I get the reference. I saw that episode.
Okay, good.
All right. Well, since this show is all about everything that we enjoy, tell us about some of the animes you've watched and enjoy.
Well, I can once again plug an episode of Final Form where I gave my top 15 anime, but I'll just say that most important anime to me, not the ones I like the most, but the ones that definitely have influenced my life the most. Well, because of my crazy hand motions, you could probably say I've been influenced by Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot, because those guys don't just do the proper thing of hold cards to their face. They just kind of like, fling their arms every which direction. I loved one animation where someone actually did that, but all the cards went flying.
What does Pot of Greed do?
God damn, that meme is so old. I'm pretty sure my grandfather uses it.
I know. But the look of anguish on your face just brings
the
me
only
so much
meme
joy.
older than that is neckbeards. And that one just pisses me off. But yeah, Gundam has been a big influence on my life. It's pretty much got me into more challenging storylines, if that makes any sense, because
given some of the Gundam storylines, yes,
they are so politically deep, and I actually think it might be because of Gundam that I'm such a politically active and person in my life. I don't know. Maybe I'm just expecting the worst things to happen, and then for Earth to split up into three major blocks and start a war.
Well, no, we need space colonies before we can do that.
No, we don't need space colonies before we do that.
Yes,
There's actually one without space colonies that did that.
Yeah, but space is half the fun.
Oh no, I'm not arguing that. On a small side tangent, Gundam was my first major space opera. It wasn't Star Wars. It wasn't Star Trek. It wasn't any of those other space-based shows. Like, is it Babylon 5?
I don't even...
But yeah, most people always say, oh yeah, what maybe a science fiction guy was Star Wars or Star Trek. And I'm like, Gundam. And I honestly think even some of the worst Gundams kick the crap out of even some of the best parts of Star Wars. And I love Star Wars. Although I will always bring up one of my personal favorite anime currently and has been for the last 5 years, since I only watched it 5 years ago, which I kicked myself for not watching it sooner, and that's Code Geass.
Yeah, that will be coming up in a future episode of Semi Perfect, ladies and gentlemen. At least at the time of this recording.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe a solo post is after that. I don't know. It's all up to that fat guy when we ever post things.
You're not exactly skinny over there, buddy.
I know, but I've said that guy.
There's only two people here, buddy.
Right, you don't hear the third?
You. If you go, that guy, is kind of obvious who you're insinuating.
Right. People can't hear the voices in my head?
I'm not sure we can hear you.
Oh, I'm not real either. But, yeah, when it comes... The funny thing is, while I am the anime guy for another podcast, I don't consider myself that big of an anime guy personally. I'm just more than they are, and I was their gateway drug to it, and I'm perfectly happy with being that. That's one thing about me I am very happy to, is I like to share stories in the hopes that other people will become interested and then join this. I am not that... I'm basically the reverse gatekeeper. I like to open the door and go, hey, come join us! Come join this fandom! It's fun! Ignore that guy, he's weird and creepy and we don't talk about him, but come join us! Join us! It's
Why
fun.
did you point to yourself when you said all that?
Because you added that bullshit?
I know. But, so, let me ask you this one then. What was the first anime you ever remember watching?
Samurai Pizza Cats? Alright!
I keep forgetting that counts as an anime.
Okay, if you don't consider that an anime, I guess it would be probably Pokemon?
Mine was Dragon Ball Z.
I watched Dragon Ball Z post getting into Pokemon.
I watched Dragon Ball way before that.
I don't know if Dragon Ball ever aired on YTV, which was my only major children's TV channel. Like, it's also very Canadian. After a while, I did get Fox Rochester, which Fox Kids, Fox Block, and that's where I got on a whole bunch of other anime, like Kirby's Right Back at Ya.
Yeah, I like that show.
I like that show too.
Pollo!
I still love like Mennonite's Spanish accent and the Spanish guitar riff. But first anime were definitely either Samurai Pizza Cats or Pokemon.
Yeah, I can tell you definitely mine was definitely Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I can't tell you the first time I watched Dragon Ball. I'm pretty sure I watched Dragon Ball after I started watching Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I actually didn't realize that Dragon Ball Z was a continuation of Dragon Ball because I was always up at the time where I was just past the introduction.
Mm-hmm.
And I just saw an older Goku. I'm like, okay.
Later
on the
episodes.
story.
Yeah, no.
Which technically it was, so.
You weren't wrong, and
No.
the manga didn't change names, so you're...
And I didn't read the manga till well after I watched the anime series.
I have never actually read the manga.
It's actually... It's one of those things where the anime is actually pretty loyal to the manga.
Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me with Akira Toriyama's style of writing and whatnot. It's a very simplistic style, so it's kind of hard to fluff.
Yeah, we'll get into that when we actually do the Dragon Ball Super episode.
If I ever get to finish Super, stupid Funimation's not able to air all the episodes on Funimation.com. That's a license. That's a license issues they got, and it's really stupid.
I really hope they do, because I want to find out who they would cast as an English voice caster for Kefla. Or not Kefla, Khalifa and Kale.
They're not even up to the end of the Future Trunk stuff. They just started it.
Ooh.
Oh, they finished it, I think. But the thing is, I can't watch it because I don't live in the States, and I don't have access to this one TV channel that has all the English dub. Funimation, who is dubbing it, cannot put it on their website because this TV channel had an exclusive deal with them. Yeah, it's annoying.
Okay, let's move on to another topic for the show. Video games. What was the first video game you recall playing?
Astro Smash. My first console I ever played was the Intellivision. My dad owns an Intellivision. He took it out one day and plopped it down in front of this great big CRTV, which I think was like a 32-inch when I was a kid. So it was like,
was huge back then.
And plus, it was one of those huge CRTVs that was like even bigger than most CRTVs. The TV, you could have fit 4 of me in when I played this. And Astro Smash is just okay. It's kind of like Space Invaders, where you have a plane of field that you can move your character back and forth to the left and right, and that's it. You can't go up or down. And asteroids start raining down on Earth. But the difference is, unlike in Aliens, where they just come down as a block and then move left to right slowly, they're asteroids. They come in diagonally at different speeds, and they're different types. And sometimes if you smash a big one, it splits off into tinier ones. Mm-hmm. You have to hit those too. The plus side is when they hit the Earth, you don't die. But if they hit you, you do die. But when you get like into the couple thousand of points, comets start dropping. And if a comet touches the Earth, then you die. And I will never get the noise of the comet showing up. And I can remember so many hours of me and my sister parked in front of this Intellivision playing this. And just as a reference, the Nintendo Entertainment System was already pretty old by the time we were playing this game. So this was almost a retro console when we started playing this. Because the Genesis and the Super Nintendo were out when I was a kid.
Well, random trivia. When I was born, that's when Nintendo came to the United States.
When I was born, the Game Boy came out. As well as my favorite Batman movie.
The first one?
Yeah. Well, favorite live-action Batman. Yeah. Tim Burton's. But the first console I ever played that wasn't the Intellivision, which is the first console which was owned by me and my sister, was the Sega Genesis. I grew up on Sonic the Hedgehog, so I have a much more tie to the Genesis and the Sega stuff than I do Nintendo, despite the fact that I am probably the biggest Nintendo fanboy you will probably meet. But I have a major Astro Smash is definitely the first game I remember playing, but Sonic the Hedgehog was the first game I ever owned myself. Mm-hmm. And yes, as I was the younger brother, I was often the Tails. So, unlike a lot of people, I freaking love Tails.
Yeah, I don't think I have no problem with it. I'm more of a Sonic actual fan.
When I started playing on my own, like when my sister finally allowed her younger dorky brother to play this console that we shared, which she said she owned because she was bigger than me.
Yeah.
I remember playing that a lot, and I don't recall ever having problems with Tails getting me killed. In fact, I remember him saving my ass more than anything else. And going back as an adult playing Sonic 2, I'm like, I still don't get all the rage Tails gets.
Me neither.
But, yeah, and the first console I ever personally owned is a few years later. I managed to talk my parents into giving me a Super Nintendo, mostly because it ended up solving a lot of arguments between my sister because we joint owned the Genesis, and some days she just didn't want me to play out of spite. 6 years apart, we're going to argue a lot.
Yeah, me and my sister are only 3 years apart, and we still do that.
The healthiest thing that ever happened to me and my sister is she moved away. And I don't mean this as I dislike my sister, but because we're not near each other, we don't even know each other anymore. So when we do meet up every once in a while, we get along swimmingly. Everything's way better. And then when she leaves, it usually happens right around the time when we're sort of sick of each other.
Yeah.
But and the first game I owned for the Super Nintendo was Killer Instinct. I was like 7.
Yeah, I started off with the Nintari. I had these. I don't even remember the titles of half these games anymore because they're so. Because we had 4 or 5 when we started off that I remember. Mm-hmm. I don't think we had them all at once, but there was this one where it was like two stick figures, because that's really all they were, or block figures you would call them in an Atari system. And you were just on either side, and you were pretty much doing a cowboy trying to shoot each other. There was a puzzle game. Oh god, I actually after the sadly passing of my grandmother, and my grandfather selling out the house to go live with my aunt in the retirement home, we actually had an Atari system here. Actually, funny enough,
cool.
I need to pull that out and see if I can get that hooked up.
The only thing I could go do that with the Intellivision, but I can't for one simple reason. It has those rabbit ear clips, and good luck finding a TV that can take those right now.
Oh yeah, actually you can find it on Amazon. You can find something to convert that over to cable. But
because the Intellivision is my father's trying to convince him to do that is a whole other story, and I'm not gonna like. It's his console. I'm not gonna out of principle do that to someone, because if he did that to one of my consoles, I get pissed off, even if it was to help things. Plus, he's not...
on the bright side, my parents want me to do that, so...
Yeah, fair enough.
But then I progressed to the Nintendo and got into Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Then that progressed to... First, I got my own TV, which is small, like 12-inch TV with a VCR combo thing. Which made watching videos a lot easier, because now I can take my favorite movies and go watch them in my room.
Yep, when I got my first VCR, I remember that crazily too.
Oh yeah, you never forget your first VCR.
No, but I remember my first TV was this really tiny one, even by my standards, and I got that, and I hooked my Super Nintendo up to it, and the days of just constantly playing Final Fantasy II on it.
Yeah, I got my Super Nintendo shortly after my new TV.
And then I found Mega Man X3 in a random flea market while I was traveling in the States.
See, I started with X1 because there's a video game rental store not too far from my house that my parents would take me to for a treat every once in a while.
There was a guy who rented SNES games here, but he did it out of his own collection.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a nice collection. He also had a collection of Genesis games, but he didn't have things like Mega Man.
Yeah.
He didn't have things like Chrono Trigger. He didn't have things like Final Fantasy. He had really weird games. I can't remember their names of. The only game I remember...
Yeah, the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo both had some really weird games.
There was this one game I rented a lot for the Genesis that was about this blue girl who was a mother trying to fight pirates, trying to get her kids back. It was a platformer. I don't remember the name of it. I freaking loved it, and one day it was just gone. Never returned to the rental shop.
Huh.
Anyway, getting off our old game consoles.
Well, what is your currently favorite movie?
Currently favorite movie? That would be John Carpenter's The Thing.
Mm-hmm.
I love that movie. Nobody in that movie is stupid, so that's a major plus. I hate idiot plots where plots only work because the people in it are really dumb or
split up. No.
If you're going to split up, give us a reason to. And when they split up in that movie, they give us a reason. It's out of pure paranoia. And yeah, at that point, they're all distrusting you because they could be the Thing, and the only person you can trust is yourself. And fire.
Give me your hand, I'll light it on fire.
And fire. Fire's the only other thing you can trust.
I'll just get one of those heavy asbestos suits and just light myself on fire and say, "Screw you! I'm out of here."
Yeah. Let's see other favorite movies.
Well, the second time, part 2 of the Spider-Man episode will be coming up, and I'm a huge. I love the Spider-Man Homecoming movie.
If I was going to pick a favorite movie from the Marvel line, that's a toughie. That's either right now Iron Man 1 or Avengers 1. I have not seen Infinity War yet, mostly because I missed it in theaters and it's not available yet for me to stream. I mean, I could have
It's still not up on YouTube yet?
Oh, it's up on, I think, U.S. YouTube, but it's not up for Canadian YouTube yet. That happens a lot. Get used to me saying that.
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting for it to be up for you too, and I was going to buy for both of us and we could watch it together. Because I will rewatch the shit out of that movie.
Yeah. I definitely know one of my all-time favorite movies is Deadpool 2.
Yeah, I gotta watch that one. Actually, that's up
Oh,
on me
I
too.
recommend it.
I
Oh
might watch.
God,
Actually, I might watch it after when you go to bed after this today, and
sure.
just watch that while I take care of things around the house.
Yeah, makes sense to me. It's a really good movie. I actually think it's better than Deadpool 1. It has its problems, but it just was funnier.
Look, I just like to say on a small tangent about Deadpool, I don't think he's that ugly. Like, even in the comics, when they show his face, it's like,
No,
I've seen
no,
more horrifying
he's never
things.
looked
I
that
think
bad
they
to
played
me.
enough too much, but I think that might be part of the joke.
I think that is part of the joke, but it also might be a whole, we can't draw him too ugly or we won't get any sympathy for him. That is a thing.
Oh, I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying it's
It's called TV ugly.
So basically, me.
You actually would not be considered hot enough to be TV ugly.
Damn.
I know I wouldn't be.
I tried. I tried.
Yeah, no one who's TV ugly looks like a real person. They still look really good. They just look slightly worse than the person next to them.
But even in the comics, I never thought it was that badly drawn.
No, but like I said, if they drew him like realistically disgusting, you probably wouldn't be able to look at him, which makes it hard to care for him if you can't look at him. That's entirely why I don't like One Piece. I can't look at anyone. They all look ugly to me.
I mean, I do like the jokes they had in the movie about what he looked like, though. Like Freddy Krueger with pepperoni on his face or something like that.
He looked like an avocado who fucked an angrier, uglier avocado.
I mean, I do admit that was amusing and fun, though, so I can't argue the movie for the emphasis on it. And then there's a little baby hand. I was like,
They upped the baby hand joke in Deadpool 2.
Oh, God, don't say anything else.
I won't, but it's also kind of...
Can I just ask one thing, because now I'm curious. Did they have the cable with the... Because every cable image I see, I always miss it because I'm looking at something else. Does he have, like, the one robotic eye, cyber eye, and the regular normal?
I'm not going to spoil the movie for you.
Fuck you.
Actually, I don't recall.
Now I'll have to look into it when I see it, because every time cable comes up, I always have something else to look at. I look back, it's like it's past the scene I want.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
Okay, well, I think we can tell from your earlier interjection, you love the Kamen Rider series.
Yeah.
If you want to give a little bit of background into that, because we did the Kamen Rider double for your first Hyper Battle series.
Yeah.
But other than Kamen Double being your first introduction, what did you look into next?
I went to the immediately sequel to Double, which was Kamen Rider O's. And I think O's and Double are probably the two strongest ones I've ever watched. They have that one thing I'm looking for in a 50-plus episode show, which is drama, comedy, and knowing when to have the two butt heads. Because there's nothing worse than a really serious show that doesn't know how to laugh at itself, or a show that doesn't know how to stop laughing at itself.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things Kamen Rider does pretty well.
Yeah, there's also the problem of a show that is serious, but then has a joke at the wrong time. Like, someone's holding their dead daughter and screaming in agony, and then the goofy sidekick bursts in and like, oh, thanks. You're supposed to levy us when the scene is stopped, but the scene is still going. Don't ruin the mood right now. Mood whiplash is a thing. But
sometimes you such whiplash, and the whiplash has whiplash.
But levity after dark is really good, and I think O's and Double both know when to do that. They also just know when to just be weird for the sake of, well, we don't have a thing right now, so let's just have a character show up in a random outfit. Why? Kill time.
Yeah, I got mostly into Fives after Double, and
I still haven't finished Fives. I just don't have the energy to it. So nice. I don't dislike it. It's just not.
I'd like
great.
to say it's worth it to finish it, but I mean, technically, Kabuto had a slow start to me, but at least it got into so much more fun and entertainment to it. Fives just, I think, started picking up the ball and then just didn't drop it, just lost the ball somewhere.
All right. I brought over a bowling ball. We were playing basketball. Oh. Well, I still got the ball. Yes. Yes, you do.
Yeah, and like I said, it just doesn't pick it back up or find it ever again. And there's just, I mean, I want to say the core of Kamen Rider, the heart there is still kind of there, but
yeah,
a show can have heart, but it still not be entertaining.
Yeah, that's
which is a
very
sad
true.
thing because I think Fi's had an interesting plot and some substance, but I just think it went off into a direction where it just lost it.
Yeah, I can say that a lot of shows I've watched.
But
I'd rather a show with heart that fails than a soulless show that just keeps trucking along.
Yeah.
Which is why I still like The Simpsons. I don't think it's trucking along. I think it's still good.
Yeah, Kabuto is one of the better examples. I think it started out to a semi-slow start.
Yeah.
Actually got to know people, and some of the more interesting started to happen.
Yeah, it was a nice slow build.
Which I can understand would turn some people off, so I wouldn't recommend starting
but
Kabuto as your first
I know a lot of
Kamen
people who consider Kabuto to be the cream of the crop. It's pretty high up there in my Kamen Rider
list. Once it gets going, I can agree to that.
Yeah. Plus I think the fight scenes are well worth it. Even if you don't really care what's going on, the fight scenes in Kabuto are still
The interesting thing to me about that was he didn't do the Kamen Rider jump kick. He did the counter spin kick.
Yeah, which was the thing about counters, they're very good at acting through the suits.
Yeah. And you have to in this kind of show.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that made me want to start this show, and I'll be honest, was when we first met, I'll go to this little side tangent. We were RPing on a website.
Yes, we are text-based RPers. That's how we met. Which is hilarious when you find out that I'm dyslexic.
Yeah, and I'm not very good at typing either, so it's not helping him any.
So, yeah, Soul types like he's hitting his face on the keyboard some days.
And that's on a good day.
Yeah, at least you make jokes about me. I'll just stare at the screen and go, crap, I can't spell my name because I forgot how to, because I spell by memory because I can't sound out words and I'm forgetting how to spell my name.
Mm-hmm.
Crap.
But moving on to a better, happier tone for the subject.
Yeah. We met because of text RPs on some websites, and we tried to fix Mega Man.
Yeah, funny enough, because that's honestly where I got some of the ideas for Mega Man himself, because I had these ideas of my head and thought, let me implement these.
Yeah, and we've been bouncing back and forth with a couple of friends now and then, here and there.
And when I first, and it didn't come to me to make a podcast about it, but it was always the idea that RPs, in a sense, are you trying to make something better from what you already have in some cases.
Yeah, or unless you're those weird RPers that like want to perfectly recreate every scene.
Yeah, I don't see the point of that. I mean, there is some point, but it doesn't feel like an RP. That it feels like you're just storytelling.
No, then it's war reenactments, and that's a whole other kettle of fish, which I can respect that.
Yeah.
I haven't said kettle of fish in a while.
But that kind of started the gears in my head of starting this podcast. Because RPing, in a sense, to me, is bring new ideas into something, maybe making something better, have something make more sense.
It's basically fanfic by committee.
Yeah, and sometimes the committee is what you need to really make an idea get fleshed out there, to really make it expand, to have, say, maybe you have a weak idea, but it's going in a good direction. Someone else can have that spark to really get that idea going.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And sometimes you just need that other person to bounce ideas off with, to discuss, to maybe have that one random idea just come out of your mouth that changes everything you have about it.
To keep one character from going far too emo.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think if I wasn't there to like smack over the head, you might make X go too emo with the fatherhood thing.
Fair enough. But it's still it's still a better idea what Capcom.
It's still something, which is more we can say about some X games. It's still goddamn something.
I mean, granted, I do go too far sometimes with the ideas, but I think that's the other thing is that there's someone else there to say, "Do we really need to go that far?" And you go, and then you can reconsider. It's like, yeah, that's a bit extreme, or there's another reason for it. At least get you thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, introduced me to the Jedi Dropouts.
Yeah.
And from there I thought, this actually seems rather fun. Let's give it a try. And
Now, I'm just going to say this. It's not like we were RPing for a year or so. No, this is such a goddamn slow burn. I've known Soul since high school. I've been out of high school for almost 10 years.
yeah, it's been
And I
over
met
10
Soul,
years.
so we've been friends for about, I want to say, 12 years.
Somewhere around that age.
God damn it.
Hey, I'm the one that should feel old. I'm older than you.
Eh.
Now, where's my prune juice?
That reminds me of a good story. You can lead a horse to prune juice, but you can't make him drink it. Nor do you want to.
And after listening to Ryan, I started up an account with Podbean. Thank you very much, Podbean. You're very awesome for that. I didn't think anybody else would let me. And the pilot episode of Mega Man X was born. And so far, we're still just rolling with it. And like I said, I don't think there's any time we're going to be running out of content for this.
No, especially with our secondary show where we talk about shows and games and whatnot we really think are as close as perfect as you can get.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever going to be a perfect show, so...
No, unless it's directed by the Hypnotoad.
Hypnotoad.
Anyway.
Now, you may have noticed in some of the later episodes, if they're up before this, M has a wide collection of figures.
Yes? What about my toy collection?
Well, what have you got in your so-called toy collection?
Oh. 40 plus Kamen Riders?
Yeah, Kamen Rider is, as stated before, a very long legacy.
10 to 15 mobile suits. Lots of Legend of Zelda, Mega Man, and other video game characters. I mostly end up collecting Kamen Riders because I like the suits a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Collecting Japanese figures was something I started in college. It was... I had some additional funding that had to be spent, so I decided to try one of importing these Japanese figures. And I ended up liking it. I started off with model kits, and I tell you one thing I learned in college, besides the actual things I learned in college. Which
Wait, you go to college to learn?
But what I really learned is the best thing I've ever discovered for myself is if I've got a big test or a big day or something really important that could change my life, the best thing to do before it is the night before, don't worry about it. Build a model kit.
He's actually got an episode up on YouTube about building a model kit.
That was actually really fun. I don't know if I'll ever do that again. Mostly because I'm running out of space for these things.
Oh, that won't stop you, and you know it.
No, it actually has stopped me. And there's oftentimes I'll go, oh God, no, I don't. I don't have the space for you. Because I don't like not displaying everything, and I'm not that guy who, I have bought this thing, it must remain in mint condition. No, I rip the package open and take the figure out, pose it, and there. I'll come back to you in a week later. And
well, I will say this. There is one fun thing about collecting these figures. I never thought I would see Kamen Rider 5s riding Grimlock from Transformers, chasing Mega Man X, riding a Venusaur. And now I have.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of fun shit with them.
Yeah. And it's just really nice. And I mean, there's something very zen-like about, walking over to a collection and shifting them about and changing their positions and just popping their heads off so they have different facial expressions. I used to do a lot of posing and taking photos with them, but I wasn't very good with that because of this thing called lighting. Lighting is one of my greatest foes, but yeah, toy collecting and whatnot is a hobby. I've always wanted to do toy reviews, but by the time I actually got myself set up to it, all the figures I wanted to review were either really old or had been done to death, so I don't think I'll ever get around to toy reviewing, but it's always been an idea that's bounced around in the back of my head.
Well, if you ever want to do a podcast on it, I think we can fit room somewhere.
It's more of a visual media, so I would have to be a vlog instead.
Well, I can help you out trying to record that with OBS if you want.
We'll see about that. Anyway, what next?
Okay. Is there anything you want to ask me? The slow head turn begins.
I got nothing.
Eh.
And actually, no. What do you think has been the most influential show that you've ever watched?
I want to say there were two, actually.
All right.
Now, it's gonna sound somewhat childish, but the first one would probably be the TMNT.
Okay.
And it's kind of one of the things that's kind of harder to put into words, but it in some ways it was inspired just to see something fun and that wasn't very serious put on screen.
Yeah.
And the other one was, I'm leaning towards you, was actually Gundam. And that it opened up to that there is never always a good guy or bad guy or black and white in life.
Yes.
And that it's always, you can pick a side, that side can be wrong, but it might also be better in the long run.
Yeah. Every part of life is various shades of gray.
Mm-hmm. And
now,
sometimes you do have to pick a shade that you can live with.
Yeah. Now, there are some things that are almost pure white, like, donating to your local charities or volunteering for orphanages or shit like that. But people can quickly turn those into shades of gray. Like, if you're doing that because you want to get a good reputation, you're not really doing it for the sake of doing charity work, are you?
Yeah.
But if, you decide to tomorrow just like, you know what, I've got 20 minutes myself, I'm just going to spend those 20 minutes walking some dogs for a charity or some crap like that.
But I also like to say, living with the gray, like, okay, celebrity donated this much money just to get the attention.
That money was still donated to a charity.
Yeah, I can live with that.
Yeah. Like I said, everything has shades of gray. It just, you have to live with it.
Yeah, and I can easily live with someone just trying to get their 5 minutes of fame donating to a charity.
Yeah. Although there's some people I know who donate to charity I want to punch every time they donate to charity because, yes, we get it. You've got more money than everybody else.
Yeah.
Stop rubbing in people's noses.
But like I said, it's always that interesting point of being in the gray that I liked. And I think that was also more influenced in the original TMNT comics, too. Because that was a lot darker, more serious than the cartoon was.
Yeah. I think the closest we've ever gotten to actually seeing that was the first live-action movie.
Or the 2003, but that's still kind of off-shotted a little bit.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, since we just recorded this a few days ago, or last week, I'm going to ask you about the Big G. What got you into Godzilla?
That is actually a fun little tidbit, because here's the thing. I did not watch the original Godzilla movie. The one that was in 1954 about the horrors of the nuclear radiation.
Well, we really didn't get that in North America.
Well, no, I'm just saying that was not my first Godzilla movie.
No.
It was actually what got me and my mom started to do it for a while, doing movie night, actually.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, because she was watching it. I came out of my room because I heard these loud noises that I didn't recognize as roars at the time.
No.
Because the noises for Godzilla were geniusly done at the time.
Yeah.
And just no, because I don't think I actually ever brought up the show, but the way Godzilla's roar was made was taking a glove, which I think was like a rubber glove, and just bringing it down the string of a certain type of cello, and then reverberating and slowing it down. And that's ingenious to me.
Yep.
But, and I saw on screen were these live action monsters on a screen. I'm like, ooh, I want to watch. So I sat down on the couch, and my mom sat in her recliner chair, and we just watched Godzilla. And I think it was like a double special at the time. I don't remember what year this was, because my memory's terrible as it is. You asked me what I did yesterday, I'm not going to remember. And it just started at I think it was like, this was a Friday or Saturday thing, so I could stay up a little bit later than usual.
Yeah.
And when it came on, we sat down and watched Godzilla. Anything from new releases to the older shows.
Fair enough. That's actually a really nice story.
I will say this, though. Godzilla's weird sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, let's
But as
see.
a kid, I just didn't really question it because I'm just having too much fun watching monsters fight each other.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Um, the closest thing I could mention, which is sadly something that stopped long, long ago, is what got me into mysteries and sleuthing was I used to watch Murder She Wrote with my mother. And that's why today I still enjoy detectives and people solving crimes.
Yeah, I got more into that when you got me into Criminal Minds.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons one of the last shows I ever watched with my mother, and this was not something we did on purpose, is we watched Criminal Minds. Like we watched the 2 or 3 episodes together because at the time she didn't have a TV and I didn't have cable in my room because of weird Finnegan things. I can't exactly remember why we were watching this, and this was not that. This was I think. Oh God, how old was Criminal Minds?
I don't know. We're on like what, season 13?
I think 15.
No, I think that's Supernatural. I'm thinking that's 13 now.
Yeah, whatever.
I think we're on 15. But
we're at least
somewhere
15.
in the double digits.
Yeah, it was sometime in high school. I remember watching it. High school or junior high?
I mean, consider every season's released yearly, so that's at least good.
Yeah, it was definitely during high school. I think I watched it, and I watched 2 or 3 episodes with my mother. It was the last show we ever watched together, and I don't know if she continued to watch it, but I know I definitely did, and I got a couple of friends into it, and I just greatly enjoy smart people solving smart crimes.
Yeah, I think there's always something else that a good feeling about yourself that you realize that, oh, I figured this one out. Woohoo!
But that's a really funny thing is I didn't actually watch ScoobyDoo until I was in like junior high or high school because it wasn't on any. No one showed reruns where I lived. Nobody showed the Scooby-Doo movies on like TV specials on my channels. So it wasn't until I went somewhere else to like a friend's place and they had like a channel called Boomerang, which showed all old shows, and they had a Scooby-Doo marathon on. And it was summer. I was at someone's place and I watched like 10 episodes of Scooby-Doo back to back with a little commercial break. And I'm like, this show is hilarious. Why didn't I have this growing up?
Yeah, Scooby-Doo is one of those things where it's not anything. I mean, it is kind of mentally stimulating, but it's not Criminal Minds.
No.
But it's so goofy and fun and energetic that you just don't care.
And I really established that I always prefer characters who are... I want my lead character to be smart. Mm-hmm. There are a few exceptions to this where, like, I don't mind an idiot main character if everyone else around them is either smart or this idiot character is smart in certain different ways.
Goku.
Yeah, Goku is the best example. He's an idiot in socialization and math and reading and...
I mean, he's got the basic skills thanks to Master Roshi, but...
But the thing is, he's a genius survivalist. I'm pretty sure if you plop Goku on some planet and he couldn't fly, he'd find ways to survive really easily. He's a genius in combat, not just in learning abilities, but coming up with things on the fly. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think Master Roshi would have ever thought to fire the Kamehameha from his feet to fly.
No. I don't
Goku did.
Yeah.
That's ingenious. And that's the thing. I like when my characters are able to quickly think of things or think on the fly. I don't like main characters who are stupid. Like, even if they're stupid for funny, I don't like them.
I mean, there's always going to be... You can always throw in that, oh, he's an idiot joke every once in a while. Like, they've done it to Goku sparingly, but at just the right interval to be a good laugh, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's very few exceptions to I dislike an idiot main character. Philip J. Fry from the Futurama is the best example of he's an idiot, but I still like him as a main character because even though he's completely an idiot, he does have his clever moments and he does have his bizarre pop culture memory places.
Yeah. I mean, he's an idiot, but he's also not... I want to say it like that.
Another thing is if the character is an idiot and is unaware they're an idiot, I don't like him. But Fry is aware he's an idiot.
And doesn't try... Well, he's tried a few times, but generally, by an episode-to-episode basis, doesn't try to be otherwise.
No.
He knows who he is, and he's living with it.
Yeah, and I can respect characters like that, but characters like... Peter Griffin. He's an idiot. He doesn't know he's an idiot. And that's why I don't find him funny.
Well, here's another question I wanted to get into near the end of the show. We're getting there.
Sure.
Just to kind of have... Because I always wanted to talk about it, but at the time it just kind of wasn't...
Yeah, timing has always been weird.
Prevalent for it. What games are you looking forward to in the future?
Well, the biggest, obviously, is Smash Ultimate.
Mm-hmm. Did they ever release or announce a release date for that?
Yeah, like December 6th.
Okay. So I got time because I'm definitely getting Spider-Man.
Besides that, I'm looking forward to Spider-Man. Not enough to pre-order it, though, I think.
I already have it pre-ordered.
The next big one I'm really looking forward to is Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. I'm grabbing that for the Switch. Because that's a series of games I love, is the Tales of series, and Tales of Vesperia is still my favorite. And I'm still pissed off we didn't get the PS3 version, which had all this extra stuff. But the Definitive Edition is coming in English, and we're getting it, and apparently some bonus stuff that was never in the PS3 version.
Were we supposed to get the PS3 edition?
No.
And it just never came out?
No, we were never supposed to get it. They thought about it for like a week, and apparently just changed their mind. Besides that, I'm looking forward to Pokemon Let's Go Eevee.
Pikachu!
Never heard of.
I'm actually looking forward to as a group game, which if you guys are okay with that, I might put up on a Twitch when we do it as live. Fallout 76.
Yeah, we'll see about that. That's something to discuss with other people we might play with.
Yeah, no, I'll discuss it with all you first. I'm just saying I might do some solo play and just explore.
What I'm slightly looking forward to, and this is more for Jedi dropouts, is the up and coming. I can't remember the name. It's the My Hero Academia fighting game.
Oh yeah, I want to try.
Me and Ryan are gonna probably stream a little bit of us going back and forth for that, because I got him into My Hero Academia, and I'm so glad I did, because that show is so good.
If that has online play, I'll definitely fight you both.
Oh yeah, it does. Can't think of anything else I'm looking for excitedly. Like, a couple of people asked me, am I looking forward to the Shonen Jump game? I'm not really. I don't know why.
Yeah.
There's no other real games I can think of off the top of my head that immediately I want. There's a couple that are already out that I'm more excited to save up and buy.
I will say this one.
Wait. Mega Man 10. Not 10. Mega Man 11. Mega Man 11.
Yeah.
For that.
I have high hopes that someday, maybe, if the Mega Man X collection ever takes off, maybe for a Christmas present from Capcom with Super Nintendo graphics and good gameplay, X9.
I thought you were going to say Star Force 4.
But that's one of my future hopes, is that we get another Mega Man X game, and it just kind of
I'm not going to say that's never going to happen, because I was the guy also pretty much in the background thinking we're not going to get any Castlevania characters in Smash. I am glad to be wrong, because I am so fucking hyped for Richter. I was actually unaware Richter was in this game, because I didn't actually watch in the trailers for a few days after it came out, because I didn't have time.
I just saw it like 2 days ago.
I just saw the list of characters, and nobody listed Richter. And I'm like, why not? He's way better than Simon.
Oh, but I do want Chrono in that game. Come on. Square Enix, get off your ass and try and make some money.
They're not going to put Chrono in. They're going to put another Final Fantasy character in, and I'm willing to bet if they're going to put a Final Fantasy character for Chrono, it's either going to be Mr. One-Winged Mama's Boy, or it's going to be Lightning.
My bet is on Lightning.
My bet's on Sephiroth. I don't want him in there. If I was allowed to put my Final Fantasy character in there, it would definitely be Cecil.
I can see that.
Because Cecil's way more of an interesting character than Cloud will ever be.
And you could actually just technically just have two different costumes for the Dark Knight and the
yeah.
You technically wouldn't even have to change any of his moves, really.
No. I guess before we go, I'm going to ask you this question: 3 game characters you want in Smash.
Okay, well, I just said one was Chrono.
Yeah. Well, 3 other ones besides Chrono.
Now, this is going to sound a little weird, but Capcom versus Marvel Infinity, whether or not you like it or not, I would like the Monster Hunter girl in it.
Okay.
Because I think that could be a little fun, just to... Because you already saw Rathalos in the recent release of Final Fantasy XIV.
Rathalos is an assist trophy.
Oh yeah,
So
maybe I will get my wish for a DLC.
yeah, maybe.
But I forgot he's an assist trophy and a boss. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Damn. See, that just goes to show you how terrible my memory is.
yeah. Okay, so
And
a Monster Hunter, Chrono. So give us two more. Give us two more.
let me think for a second here. Probably the one that's the same as you would be Shantae. Or Shantae.
Yay!
I'm terrible at pronouncing that.
No, Shantae is her name.
I always thought it was Shantae, though. I keep saying that for some reason.
I've never heard you say that before.
Maybe I'm just being too...
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so one more.
Oh, God, I'm trying to rack my brain going through what games I played, and it is just going out the wrong end here.
Okay.
It would be really hard, but I think it would be really fun, though. Laharl from this guy.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Or, if not, the one you like, the scientist guy. I can't think of his name at the time.
Mao.
Mao, thank you. Which, isn't that just means demon?
I have no idea off the top of my head, man.
Yeah, Japanese is a weird thing.
Yeah.
What about you? What four would you like, besides the two that I probably mentioned for you?
Well, Shantae, obviously. So I'll give you three more. Tails.
Yeah, I could see him having a...
I really want Tails.
Look, at worst, I see Tails just being a reskin of Sonic.
I don't.
I said at worst.
Yeah, that could work. If they were going to do an Echo Fire from Sonic, it would have to be either Metal Sonic or Shadow. If I was going...
Shard.
No one knows who that is anymore.
I know. That's terrible, though.
Hey, I'm scared Nicole won't come back. There's a chance she might not. Anyway,
I probably got to start planning for that episode later.
Besides them, let's see. Midna. Definitely Midna. I know she's in a Sif trophy, but I want her as a playable character because I really think there needs to be more, badass females and more Zelda characters because it's starting to look more like Fire Emblem and Brothers.
Yeah, I mean...
Not that I dislike Fire Emblem. I like the series, but this is too heavy lean towards Fire Emblem. There's more Fire Emblem, I think, than there are Mario characters now.
Yeah, it depends on how you look at it, but I think we're getting there.
Yeah. And one more game.
I mean, I get Fire Emblem has a lot of melee characters and interesting movesets for certain characters.
Yeah. But so many of them are echo fighters of each other.
Yeah, I mean, if we're just gonna have to pick a few from there, I would keep Ike, Lucina, and Roy.
Yeah, I would pick Ike, Lucina, Robin.
Robin is definitely one of the more interesting players there.
That's why. But if I was to pick one more game character, a lot of people expect me to say Zero, but I'm actually fine with him not being in there. I actually would kind of like Ryu Hayabusa.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, they got Zero in as an assist trophy.
And he already can use his armor for a Mii fighter, which I'm happy with. I would like Zero to be in there. I would not argue against him, but I'm actually kind of fine with him not being there. But if they put X as a playable character, I'll scream in frustration because he's a passive. It's another fighting game. Now, to be fair, it makes more sense to X be in Smash than any of the Marvel vs. game because Smash is supposed to be a child playing with his action figures.
Yeah, but the only reason but at least they gave him a reason to be fighting Marvel vs. Capcom instead of just dropping him in.
Yeah, there's a reason to, but he's also a goddamn pacifist, so he should be excited to be in a fighting game.
Yeah, it's one of those interesting mix. I mean, I like Marvel vs. Capcom for at least putting some emphasis on giving him some interaction with everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Which is
we'll do a waste of potential in Marvel vs. Capcom alone, I think.
Yeah, we'll also probably be doing one on Metroid and Sonic the Hedgehog now. Like I said, sometimes ideas just hit me for this, or I haven't said, but ideas can just strike me at the random time, and half the time I'll just jot them down and grow from there.
Yep. So I think that's a pretty good episode.
Yeah. So thank you for listening to us rambling on for random things. I hope this gave you some insight on us. So I'll leave you with that, and we hope you have a good day, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye, everybody.